Hello, treasure. Here's our next story. This is another Winnie and Wilbur. This time they go into space. Do you like space? Winnie the witch looked up through her telescope at the night sky. It was huge and dark and mysterious. I'd love to go into space, Wilbur, Winnie would say. It would be such a huge adventure. Wilbur, Winnie's big black cat, loved to be outside at night too. That was when he went hunting and courting. He liked to chase the moths and the bats and the shadows. That was enough adventure for Wilbur. Then, one night, when the moon and stars were bright, Winnie suddenly said, "Come on, Wilbur, we are going to the space, to the moon in space. Let's go right now. Come on, Wilbur." "Meow," said Wilbur. "I'm not quite sure about this. How will we get there?" wondered Winnie. "We need a rocket." "I don't have a rocket." Then she looked up at the moon and she had a wonderful idea. She took her magic wand. "Here's mine." And she shouted the magic word. All together now. "Abracadabra." Well done. And there on the roof was a rocket. Winnie packed a picnic basket, got her big book of spells. This is essential, isn't it? Just in case she needed them, and ran up the stairs with Wilbur. Winnie shut her eyes, waved her magic wand again and shouted, "Abracadabra." Then the countdown began. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the rocket shot off the roof and into space. It made them sneeze. It went so very fast and it was hard to steer. Whoops! Winnie nearly flew into a satellite. That was a bit close to a flying saucer. And whoops! That was a falling star. Or was it a shooting star, Wilbur? Whoosh! The rocket went higher and higher. "Meow," said Wilbur. He put his paws over his eyes. "We'll find a lovely planet for our picnic, Wilbur. Don't worry, you'll be fine. I'm here with you," Winnie said. Wilbur peeped out from behind his paws because he was still a bit frightened. There were little planets everywhere. There were so many of them. "Here's a sweet little planet," said Winnie. "We'll have our picnic here." "Prrr," said Wilbur, because he liked his food and he loved picnics most of all. Plop! The rocket landed. All was quiet. It was peaceful. But there were funny little holes all over the surface. Wilbur looked down some of the holes. They seemed to be empty. Winnie unpacked the food. There were pumpkin tarts, chocolate muffins, some cherries and cream for Wilbur. Oh, yummy, just what I like. Then a little head popped out of one of the holes. Then suddenly there were little heads everywhere. "Rabbits," said Winnie. "Space rabbits. They're coming to take our picnic." "Meow," said Wilbur. A space rabbit hopped over and he tried some of the cream. "Yuck, I don't like that." Blech. Another space rabbit tried a pumpkin tart. "Ooh, that's horrid. I don't like that," he said. And then another space rabbit took a chocolate muffin. He had a little nibble. "That's horrible. I don't like that." Another one took a cherry. He spat it out. "That is disgusting. A cherry? Oh no." Oh dear. Suddenly the rocket was covered in space rabbits. "Oh no," shouted Winnie, and she waved her magic wand and shouted very quickly, "Abracadabra!" And carrots and lettuces rained down onto the rabbits. But the space rabbits didn't like orange carrots or green lettuces. "Of course," said Winnie. "Oh, why didn't I think?" She waved her magic wand again. "Oh, ready? Abracadabra!" she shouted. What happened this time? Yes! There was a giant pile of metal. Saucepans, wheelbarrows, bicycles, cars, even an old fire engine. Yes, that was what space rabbits liked. They started eating all the metal objects. Scrumptious, they were saying. But it was a little too late. Oh, 'cause the pile of metal was next to the rocket. And what do you think the rocket was made out of? Oh, the space rabbits had been eating Winnie's metal rocket. "Blithering broomstick," shouted Winnie. "Now how will we get home?" "Meow," said Wilbur. "I don't want to stay here." Winnie looked at the giant pile of metal. "Perhaps," she said, "maybe, I wonder, the rocket's been eaten, but some of the pile of metal is still here." So she looked through her spell book and found a wonderful spell for making a rocket out of metal. Here it goes. Abracadabra. I hope you joined in. There was a flash of fire, a bang, a big whoosh. And there, on top of the giant pile of metal, was a rattling, roaring, scrap metal rocket. Winnie and Wilbur climbed up the ladder to the rattling, roaring rocket and jumped in. Look. The ladder was very long. They had a long way to climb. And then, whoosh, the rocket blasted away. It rushed and roared through space. Whoomp! The rocket landed in Winnie's garden. "Wow, that was an adventure," said Winnie. "That was good. What do you think, Wilbur?" "Purr," said Wilbur. "I'm glad that we're home." "Well," said Winnie, "I'm glad to be home too." They were both so pleased to be home. But what a wonderful adventure. I'll see you next time, treasure.